All right, so this is what I came up with to play High by 5SOS, and really cool tune. It was really hard to figure out, and I'm sure I don't have it exactly right, but it kind of reminded me a little bit of Dream On by Aerosmith. So for some of you younger folks out there, go check out Dream On by Aerosmith and let me know what you think. That's kind of a similar vibe in some ways to this song, and it's kind of like, everything sort of comes from somewhere. So that's what this song made me think about. But anyway, let's go ahead and try it. So what I've got for like sort of the main verses is all right, so that's kind of the essence of the song, and it's interesting because there's this walking note that you kind of have to keep going with your thumb. So I'll show you how to do that. So what we want to do is start with a D chord. So just index finger, second fret of G, middle finger, second fret of high E, ring finger, third fret of B. And what you want to focus on is the G. The G is kind of the walk up note. Like every note is gonna walk up on that G. So we'll start with this. We're gonna pluck all three of the strings together. So what I'm doing is I'm using my middle finger and my ring finger and just assigning them to the B and high E, and then my thumb is gonna pluck the G. Okay, so you pluck all three of them at once, then you pluck just the G by itself. Okay, then you're going to pluck the B and high E by themselves. So then back to G again. So we've got, all right. So we've got, okay. Now what we're going to do, I think this is a D augmented. So your index finger is going to jump down to where your middle finger was on the second fret of the high E. Middle finger comes up here to third fret of the G, and then you're going to do the same rhythm or the same plucking pattern. So all of them together, G by itself, B and high E by themselves, back to G again. All right, so we've got, right? So now index finger stays where it is. We're going to go to a B minor. Middle finger jumps down to second fret of B. Ring finger, sorry, did I say second fret of B? Third fret of B. Ring finger goes to fourth fret of G. All right, so we've got, alright, now this was the weird chord that was kind of hard to figure out. So see where your ring finger and your middle finger are? They're already in that shape, that angled shape. So you're just going to slide that up one fret. So now your ring finger is in fifth fret of G, middle finger, fourth fret of B, and then you're going to add your pinky here on fifth fret of high E. And you're going to do the same plucking pattern. So here's what we got. All right. Now from here, we got to make quite a large jump for the next chord. So you keep that angle on your middle finger and your ring finger, but you bring it down to the B and high E strings, but you also slide it way up here to middle finger 7th fret of high E, ring finger 8th fret of high E. Now G is open now, okay? So we're going to do that same plucking pattern. Then index finger is going to take over on 6th fret of high E, middle finger comes off. All right. So that was. All right. So that's the basic part of it. So now it's going to go back to the D though, for the, I guess you could call it the turnaround before it starts all over again. So now when it goes back to the D after we were up here doing the high stuff, it comes back to the D, right? But now we have to include the actual open D note. So it's going to be like this. So that's just B and high E together, D string, B and high E, D string, B and high E, D string. And there's some little details. If you don't like it like that, you can probably just stay on that G if you want, if you don't want to mess around with adding the D in. So the way I was fitting that D, let's look at that. So we got from the high notes. All right. So as long as you get the D, the open D string in a couple times, I think that's what they're doing. I'd listened to it like 100 times and I think that's what's going on there. So that's how, so the G is the main string for the entire riff for the most part. And then right at the end, they jump down to that open D. So all that together. So we've got. So that's going to repeat, I'm calling that the A section, all right? So that's the A section. That's going to happen 3 times, okay? Now the B section is kind of the same with a slightly different ending. So the B section is. Now right after that, so that's the B section. So after the weird chord here, instead of going up to your high notes, we go to a G chord now. So ring fingers, 3rd fret of B, pinky, 3rd fret of high E, middle finger, 3rd fret of low E. And you're gonna do a similar pattern. So you're gonna go. So now we're doing index on G. So you need your thumb to pluck the low E, and you pluck the B and high E with your middle and ring finger, and then index on G, and then again B and high E, and then G again. So that's okay. Now we got kind of a weird chord here. Index finger, 1st fret of A, and ring finger and pinky stay where they are on that shape of the G, but middle finger adds in right here on 3rd fret of the G, and then you're gonna go. So you're plucking again with your thumb on the A string, your thumb's getting the root note. And then we go to D. So that's. So thumb's going. All right. So thumb's not doing that much. Right after that, now we got to grab a little walk down note. So now we're going into the C section, which is the chorus. So your after this, you're going to walk down to that. Use your pinky, grab that 4th fret of the A string, because it's going to walk you down to the chorus. So the chorus, The chorus was really hard for me to figure anything useful out for, so what I came up with was this. It just goes. So that's what I came up with for the chorus. So after we were on the B, where it goes to the weird chord, from G to the weird chord, and then to the D, and then the walk down note into the chorus, and then we're going to do a B minor. So index finger bars across second fret from the A to the high E. Middle finger sets down, third fret of B, ring finger, fourth fret of D, pinky, fourth fret of G. And then we're kind of sticking to that same theme where middle finger, ring finger are doing the B and high E, and index is doing the G, and thumb is doing the root note. So thumb's going to get A, because that's the B note. Okay, so that was... Now, this is kind of a interesting A chord. You just move your index finger down, so now your index finger is just barring across from D to high E. You're going to do the exact same plucking pattern, but now your thumb's still on the A string, but now the A is open. All right. So we have. Go to G again, so middle finger, third fret, low E, ring finger, third fret of B, pinky, third fret of high E. Now we're going to do a D over F sharp. So ring finger stays where it is, middle finger grabs second fret of high E, index finger, second fret of G, thumb over the top, second fret of low E. Now if you can't get that bass note with your thumb, don't worry about it, just do just the high part. But if you're able to get it, all right. Now E minor, which is pretty easy. You don't even really need to set the E minor down. I just do out of habit. So middle finger, second fret of A, ring finger, second fret of D. So thumb's now on low E string, and again same plucking pattern. You could do it with no hand. All right. Then back to the D over F sharp. Then back to the G. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and try a playthrough now of the whole thing. So that's 3 A sections. The B section, which is similar to the A section, but has the slightly different ending with that G chord to the weird chord, and the D with the walk down note into the C section, which is the chorus. So let's try it. So we got 3 A sections, a B section, and a C section. All right, so again, starting on that D, with taking you back to the top. So we're starting on that D. Thumb is going to be focusing on the G as the walk-up note. And then middle finger and ring finger are getting the B and high E. So here's what we got. Second time through, A section again. Third time through, A section again. Now the B section. So that's the walk down note. Okay, so now going into the chorus, we've got B minor, okay, so I think that's pretty much, I listened to the song, that's as close as I could get it. And I think that will give you the tools you need to play through the whole song. You just got to use your ears. So I hope this was helpful. Go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.